I'll start once everyone starts appearing. Not yet. Hello. Yeah, great. So let's start our live session today. Hello, namaste. I am Dr. Rajashree Radhas Ayurved. This is the end of the third week of our webinar series. We are entering into the from tomorrow we'll be entering into the fourth week. Hello, Rajanji. Hello, Aditi ma'am. So our topic today is pregnancy and myths of do's and don'ts in pregnancy. Let us talk about those. It's a continuation kind of thing to the physician's perspective, which we have been covering since last 2 weeks. We have spoken about in a brief. I will just make a brief, gist of what we have done. In the first week, we have spoken about common disorders which are seen in females, in ladies, right from the pubertal age to the reproductive age, the menopause age. Now, the last week we saw menstrual disorders, and this week we are going to talk about the very important event in a lady's life, that is, pregnancy. There are many questions which do many, when many of our patients, we hear them asking so many questions to a physician as well regarding what to do, what to eat, how am I going to sustain this pregnancy. In a lady's body, there are hormones play a very important role, especially during these kind of important events. What happens is she is already stressed because of something new happening in her life, and apart from that, there are so many myths going everywhere, not just in India. In every place there are too many myths. Eat this, eat that, do this, don't do this. One says a thing, the other contradicts the same. They don't know what to do. So this is where they feel even a physician can answer. So I am not going to sidetrack. I am going to just fix to what are the do's and don'ts in a physician's perspective. Yeah. So once we start, I mean, a couple, when they start planning pregnancy, and there are these days many myths, many problems that couples face when during this time, when they plan pregnancy. So why is that happening? Is we have seen the last few weeks, last 2 weeks, regarding food, regarding, I mean, diet and the way of our living these days, lifestyle. In all the so many series which are happening now. Keeping in view all these things, I am not repeating them, but then that is one of the reasons why we see a lot of fertility issues in today's scenario. Therefore, when there is a problem as such, doctor always makes it a point that they scan the male and the female partner, I mean the husband and the wife both, physically and also biochemically. I mean, the tests that are done, the sperm count and all the others for male, and for females, the hormone tests and rest of the things which are, counted in. So, taking all these into account, they are assessed, and wherever the problem lies, the treatment is done. Uh, Ayurveda basically believes that, when a person is born, we call it a prakriti, that is the three dosha, vata, pitta, kapha, which are determined then. When he is born, the kind of food the mother has, the kind of environment the mother lives in, And there are many other external factors, the way others, other people in the family and all the others whom she is associated to in day-to-day life behaves. All these things, what she hears, what she talks, all these things also influence the fetus. It is like, in general, like for example, you are trying to plant a seed. Before planting a seed, what do? You take care that the entire area is neat, and taking care of the entire climate or weather around it, and the nutrition the food should have. This is what we address in Ayurveda as four factors which are responsible for proper conception, that is Ritu, kshetra, that is the area where the conception, that is the seed planting, has to take place. Ambu, that is the nutrition or whatever the food the fetus has to get or the baby has to get in the womb. And bija is the seed, which is the sperm and the ovum. Both of them have to be healthy. So these are the things which come into importance when we consider a couple who are planning for conception. Okay, so this is the reason why all these four factors are considered. Is all these four factors, as I just spoke of, they play an important role in determining the prakriti, the normal nature of the person as an individual, and that is how his behavior a few days after birth, his behavior, his body constitution, and how the biochemical things naturally happen in his body, his thinking, his mental status, all these are determined by these. And the mental three factors which are considered, the thinking or the mental influences which the person has, depending on these three, that is sattva, rajas, tamas, that we call. So let us not get more deep into it, but yes, that so all these play an important role in determining the person's healthy living. Further, I mean, yeah. So during pregnancy, as per Ayurveda, I am covering the main Ayurveda part here. As per Ayurveda, during pregnancy, Charaka Samhita, some stuff, some things which have to be followed in every month, as especially in food. He has given main importance to milk, but a word of caution here: milk in limited quantity at limited time has to be taken. Excess of milk consumption also may lead to other related difficulties. So when you start taking your we call it garbhini paricharya, when this is started, your day-to-day life in pregnancy is started, please consider a doctor. Okay. So, Charaka Acharya has told that, I will make it very short because he has given a lot of information regarding this. I'll make it just too short to understand. In the first, a lady is supposed to take milk, little quantities from time to time. That is a little quantity in the morning, little in the afternoon, little in the evening. Basically, she's supposed to eat in the first trimester, that is the first 3 months of pregnancy, in very small quantities till her body gets adjusted to the food and the hormones, which are not yet being in a level. So yes, the first month is supposed to take milk from time to time. The second month, she's asked to take milk with medicated herbs, that is cooked with medicated herbs. I can say there are a few wonderful herbs which work wonders in pregnancy. So these are to be used. You can consult your physician for help with diet and these herbs. And the third month of pregnancy, ghee is given importance. Milk with ghee or ghritam, which we call in Sanskrit, is to be used. And in fourth month, cream of milk, we call venna in Telugu, and makhan we call makhan in Hindi. These is to be used during the fourth month of pregnancy. Because fourth month is considered to be the time when the mental development starts. So Navanita or Makhan, it plays a very important role in mental development. In fifth month of pregnancy, again milk and ghee is advised. In sixth and seventh month of pregnancy, cooked with medicated drugs as I just told you. They are to be used, and in 8th and 9th month, there is a recipe for a gruel called Yavagu, which is to be taken along with, it is to be cooked along with ghee and rice, right? Usually the rice taken is old rice. uh, so this is in brief the food which Charak Acharya has advocated, and all the other acharyas have told in their books. I would like to emphasize on one very important principle here, why this kind of food is given. During pregnancy, especially during the first trimester, there is a lot of, we call it hyperemesis gravidarum, or a tendency to have nausea and vomitings, which is very common during the first 3 months. As I just spoke of, the body has to get used to the kind of hormones, the hormonal play, and till then the body tries to reject whatever is happening, and it tries by its own way, in its own way, to adapt to the changes. And that is when all these things come in. There is constipation, there is few have constipation, few have diarrhea, few also have a lot of acidity, heartburn, to counteract kind of all these things. Basically Ayurveda or any doctor in today's scenario tells a lady to eat less amount of food in little intervals of time, and also to avoid spicy, sour, and very salty. Any food which is difficult to digest, food should be like easily digestible, and it should be, very importantly, as we say, it should be which the lady wants. If she wants to eat ice cream, give her ice cream, but then reduce the quantity of it. Ice cream is just an example, but I would not recommend ice cream and chocolates, because even they have their own role to play on the hormones. So basically, the main food to concentrate on is easily digestible food. Food should not be very spicy, salty, and sour, and food should also, it should not have the heat constituent when it digests in the body. So this is the basic principle behind giving a lot of milk. But then make sure you don't over indulge in milk and then land up into any other trouble. Talk to your doctor before you start doing food regimen as per Ayurveda. Yes, so food is done. Next, let us get to the myths in the food. And usually people ask what to avoid and what not to avoid. There is a lot of talking going on about papayas and pineapples. Yes, there is a research which says that fruit papaya can be taken and raw papaya cannot be taken, but there is no substantial output of it, so I would not like to recommend even a fruit papaya. But yes, if it is to be avoided, it is to be avoided. Also, apart from that, what are the do's, what to do during pregnancy? As we just spoke about spicy and hot sour foods. Apart from that, in the last two sessions, maintaining your hormonal balance, and mindful eating, thinking of what to eat, and be careful when you eat, not to eat a lot of outside food, stale processed food, and a lot of fast foods. All this comes under this category. You will know why I was talking about it, because there are many girls today, ladies today, who are concerned during pregnancy of about their vitamin deficiencies, especially the iron folic acid deficiency. Like anemia is common in pregnancy, vitamin D deficiency, which is also common in pregnancy these days, I guess, because I don't know how it was once upon a time. But once our food is not monitored properly, all these set in. Apart from this, there are many girls who have weight issues, who think that yes, I am growing fat. How will I manage once I get pregnant? And then once they land up into pregnancy, and then that is one of the reasons why they stress on that, yes, I am already fat and I'll grow more fat. To manage all these things, um, these are a few myths which I just spoke of. So to manage, like you don't have any, it's not like you don't have any, solutions from day one, but cautiously take help of your doctor, your obstetrician. I would underline that, take help of your obstetrician. Consult your physician whenever you need it. First thing is, yes, your folic acid and vitamin D supplements, if given to you, are very much necessary to be taken, and do not miss them, especially when you are, there are a few who don't have vitamin D deficiency, so it is not required when it is not recommended. But once if there is a deficiency, do not miss on them. And apart from that, we spoke about the food stuff which has to be eaten. And when chocolates are to be avoided. As I said, they also have their role to play. Caffeine, chocolates have their role to play on the hormones in the body, especially in a female body. And do not overthink about having constipation or diarrhea, and do not think that you are sick, because pregnancy is a physiological happening in the body. I would not say a change, because it is a physiological happening in the body. Do not think that if you have vomitings, it is not a disease. Unless it is going out of control, do not get stressed on it. And constipation and diarrhea is common during pregnancy. Most of them have either of them. With the help of proper diet, you can have control over them. And morning sickness, we just spoke of it. Mood swings, do not stress over your mood swings. Do not think why you are getting irritated, or why you are being all around the place. You feel as if nothing is going right. Do not stress upon all these things which is happening in your body. The progesterones and estrogen, they interact with your neurotransmitters. Even they are not used to, the neurotransmitters are not used to, your nervous system basically is not used to the increased surge of these hormones. Even they are trying to get adjusted, so you be gentle to them, they'll be gentle to you. Also, that can be managed with your food. And here I would like to recommend pranayama, and not very vigorous pranayama and yogasana. I would like to emphasize on doing very limited and not, as I said, do very mild kind of pranayama. You can do Nadi Shodhana. Brahmari pranayama is advised there. Apart from this, the yogasanas also can be done, but again underline that, under the supervision of a trained instructor, yoga instructor. There are a few yogasanas which you can do, like simple bendings and stretchings, which are advised during pregnancy, like this is hatha yoga, right? So the very first thing is hasta padasana can be done, and paschimotthasana can be done. Also, apart from this, the butterfly asana, which is very commonly done. What help in, first of all, we spoke about the weight, which can be managed. You can manage weight loss easily once your baby is out. You can manage a weight loss post pregnancy. Apart from this, it helps in avoiding backaches and other digestive problems. And apart from this, you have flexibility of your muscles, which is very much necessary for normal labor. Yes, you can indulge in yogasanas, but in the very beginning, in the first trimester, that is the first 3 months of pregnancy, you have to be careful, because that is a very delicate time. As I said, you can do it, but it is better you consult your doctor as per your condition. Yogasanas are advised after 20 weeks of pregnancy, that is after the 4th month, right? Yeah. So yes, we spoke about asanas and their importance, pranayama and asanas importance on hormones, maintaining hormonal levels. Apart from this, relaxation techniques, as I told you, deep breathings also can be done from the first trimester itself. That helps. Pranayama also helps in maintaining the stress levels to, to some extent, so that you don't overindulge in stress and don't harm yourself and the growing fetus. The next thing is, while sleeping, the lady is advised not to sleep straight. She has to sleep on one side. That is seeing the comfort level of self, so that there is, in the first trimester, there is a danger of baby. The embryo is still not totally embedded in the uterus. If this is the uterus, the embryo comes and it fixes to the uterus. This is still happening in the first 2 months. So the first 3 months are very crucial. You have to take care that this is happening properly, and your way of sleeping or way of sitting and standing for a longer time, walking, doing overactivity, all this is not affected. All this doesn't affect this process. Apart from this, it is advised to wear loose fitting clothes, and because it is comfortable already. There is a lot of discomfort in the beginning of the pregnancy and later on during the second and third trimester, that is the second 3 months till the 6 months and the last 3 months. So it is advised to wear loose fitting clothes during pregnancy, and the emotional vulnerability, as I spoke of the hormonal surge, the stress during pregnancy also should be, the lady should be kept calm. This is an advice to the entire family to, take care of her and be there to listen to her. This is also advised in Samhitas, that you can always try to do what the pregnant lady feels like. If she wants something to eat, and it is necessary that you provide her with what she wants, if she's willing to have something in specific. And if something she wants is that which is causing some harmful effect, you can either give her in a small quantity, or divert her somehow slowly, but then do not hurt her feelings, because as I said, the hormones and stuff, all this affects the growing fetus. There are many factors, as I spoke of. All these are important. And yes, we spoke of Masanumasika, Garbhavriddhi, and Paricharya. These days, as we see, there is increased, levels of abortions in society. Why is that happening? The very, very important reason for abortions, that is missed abortions or miscarriages, happening in the beginning of pregnancies or later on during the second and the third trimesters, the abortions happening mainly is attributed to the stress factor, which is increasing. It could be because of the workload, as very much career oriented, and then they try giving time to both of them, the work, family, and their own health. So my advice here is also, all over, there are many things that the entire family and an individual can take care of. My advice to everyone, out here listening to me, is that everywhere, in all the lectures that we are listening here, stress pays, every person, people pay very big amount for the stress they take. So managing stress in every walk of life is important, and here for a lady, managing stress is like of utmost importance, I say. Vihara, always seen as ahara, vihara. So food, as important food is, mental health also is of the same importance. So my advice is to, as I always say, do pranayama, yoga, asanas and all. Apart from all these things, maintain your mental health keep it balanced and take care of it. And you are also responsible for the next progeny and his prakriti, as I said, his nature to develop. So you can also take care of his life, right? Yeah. So concentrate on your food and your daily regimen and stay healthy. I open the forum for questions, please. Any questions here? Hello everyone, I see everyone here joined. Thank you so much for coming on live here. Any questions, please? Okay, seems like we don't have questions today. Do type your questions in the comments. If there is anything which I should answer, I will for sure. And yes, I would like to add, Ayurveda has wonderful preparations and yogas and kalpas which are useful in cases of female health, for maintaining good female health. So you can always take help of Ayurveda. There are wonderful herbs and wonderful drugs. Yeah, so for any more queries, you can contact Radha's Ayurveda, Hyderabad. Thank you. Namaste. I'll sign off.